Hey scrapbook friends, this is Michelle at michellesizemore.com with one L in my first name if you're looking for me on my website. I'm a Creative Memories advisor, and today you'll learn how to make this page using our new Grateful Harvest collection. This is the paper pack that I used. This is the other paper pack that I use. They coordinate together. I love the beautiful colors. And I used the lemon punch to make acorns, which is kind of a unique idea. So let's get started and make this page. Okay, these are all the items that I used. I'm going to start with my background paper, which is this beautiful gold with accents of white. And that is the paper, and we're going to make the border now. So we use this green plaid and this orange dot and this brown cardstock. It's called Hot Fudge. And then I used these laser cut borders. These are from the same collection. And these sunflower laser cut borders. That was all for the borders. So let's do this. So we're going to first make our cut for the green plaid paper. I don't remember the width, so I'm going to take my ruler. I did it to 1.5 inches. So grab my trimmer. Let's put this aside over here. Got a lot going on here. And I'm going to cut this to 1.5 inches. I'm going to open my arm. Make sure my foot is flipped out so it's steady and level on my surface. And put this in and line it up at the 1 inch mark right here. Of course, I'm using a scrap. I always try to use up my scraps first before I start a new piece of paper. I have my straight blade in here. Wait, I think I said 1.5. Did I not? Let's just double check this. Yep, I did. I'm about to do the wrong thing. Okay, so let's line it up right here at the 1.5 inch mark. Sorry about that. And I'm going to make sure it follows the grid line all the way down and is straight up here. And just cut. So now I have my 1.5 inch piece of green plaid. That would also be really pretty at Christmas. And I am going to cut 2 skinny strips of this orange with the decal blade. That's the yellow one. And all the blades are stored underneath here. I'm going to open my housing, take that blade out, just pop this one in, curvy side down. And it doesn't matter exactly what width I cut this because a lot of this is going to be tucked underneath. So I'm going to cut it at a little bit more than 3/4 of an inch, or about 3/4 of an inch with the decal blade. Okay, so it has one side that's straight, one side that's decal, and I'm going to cut one more the same way. They don't have to be exact on this cut. Okay, now I'll set this paper aside. And then I want to cut 2 strips of brown with the straight blade. And again, I need skinny strips. About the same width, about 3/4 of an inch. Make sure it's straight at the top. Okay. That's all my cuts for the border. And let's put this together. So the first thing I'll do is mount my laser cut borders on top of the screen. This will go first and this will go on top. I'm going to grab this, which is something I got from Creative Memories that repels my repositionable tape runner so that it doesn't stick to my table. I'm going to mount or put some repositionable tape runner on the back, just in some dabs all the way down. Don't go all the way straight down unless you just want to waste a lot of tape runner. So I don't think anybody should do that. So we're going to just center this up. Doesn't have to be exact. I want to come down just a little bit because there's there's kind of an open area there. So let's go down just a little. I'm gonna come over just a tad. I think this will be good. Yeah, that's good. Okay, and then I'm going to put some tape runner on the back of this. Again, I'm using my repositionable tape runner. Just put a few dabs all the way down and mount this on top. That kind of gives it just a pop of colors for fall. So there's that. And then I'm going to put some repositionable tape runner down one vertical side of the back of this border. And we're going to mount this here with the decal blade side up. That's the kind of rough edge. So I want about that much to show. Okay, I like that. And we're going to do the same on the other side. Let about the same amount show on the other side. I would say that this decal blade is the decorative blade that I use the most, just because it is so versatile. It looks a little bit rustic. It looks a little bit outdoorsy. Yeah, I like it. Okay, and then I'm going to put some repositionable tape runner down one vertical side of that and mount my brown. A lot of people ask me, why do you cut 2 strips of orange and 2 strips of brown? Why don't you just cut one big strip? And my answer is always because I want it to be easy and I don't want to have to measure. That's the bottom line. Plus, I think it's quicker in the long run, not to have to measure and stop and do all that. And just to eyeball it, and it saves a little bit of cardstock and paper. So now I'm going to mount this here, just like I did the other side, and then I have my finished border. That was pretty easy. So I'm going to look at this and then mount that right here. I want a little bit of that gold to show at the bottom, just to give it a little pop of color. Just put a few dabs all the way down, and then let a little bit of that gold show at the bottom. I think it gives it a nice look. Okay, and then I want to gently rub to kind of make sure everything's sort of stuck down. And I like that. I love this color combination. Now we're going to make acorns. I'm going to show you how it's so fun and so easy. So let's grab our 2 colors of paper. Actually, I use 3 colors of paper. Okay, so I'm just going to make one to show you how it works. And we're just going to punch out a lemon. And let's open this up by pushing that so that it opens that. Just put your paper in and cut. I'll do 2 just in case I mess up on one and need another one. Sorry, I'll be right back. My computer's making a noise, so I had to turn it down. Okay, and then I want to cut a couple of this. I'm just cutting 2 just in case I were to mess up. And I'll cut a couple of these. This is so fun. I love to take a punch that's made for something else and turn it into something completely different. It's sort of like a challenge for me, just to see all the different things I could come up with. Now I'm going to grab my scissors. I'll grab both pair, micro and regular. And I want to cut, let's do these 2 colors because those contrast the most. And I want to cut the top off of the light brown. Just cut it completely off because it's going to be covered up. And then I want to cut a little bit off of the tip of that and then cut this leaf off. And then it's going to look like an acorn top. Let's do it this way. Oops, I didn't mean to bend that. Okay, cut just a little bit more off. And then I'm just going to cut it a little bit less than half, so it looks like the top of an acorn. And that is going to go on top of here, and then you have your cute little acorn. So let's put some repositionable tape runner on the back of this. And just mount that on top. So that's how you make your acorns out of the leaf punch. And then I did two like this with these colors, and then I did the one in the middle has the darker brown paper, which I can't find at the moment, but it's kind of it's still lighter than the hot fudge but darker than this. So that's how you get your acorns. And then this piece of paper right here, let's see, is from the Variety Matte Pack, which is this. And I'm going to cut this off. You could do it just with your scissors or with your trimmer. I'm going to line it up so that this left-hand side dotted line is where it's going to cut. So I'm going to try to get it right there in the middle. I may have to trim just a little bit. I'm going to take my guide and look at it with that line in there. Yeah, it looks like it's going to cut just right. So, yep, that did perfect. So I'll save this for another page. Okay. So here, I would put my little acorns here. I would put 3 acorns, and then this sticker right here is the sticker that I used. Once I got my acorns in position, I would put the sticker over it to get this look. I'm going to save that sticker and save this for another page. I just wanted to show you how I got that. And then I just add my photos. I cut these are 4x6 photos. This is a 4x5 1/4 photo. I'll just take one and make a pretend photo with a mat. And I'm going to grab my pretend photo right here, and this is 4x6. And my mat. So I don't have to crop this at all. But to get my mat, I want to cut it, if the photo's 4x6, I want to cut the mat 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. So just so it's 1/4 inch bigger than my photo to get a skinny mat. That's what I like. If you want a wider mat, you can cut it a little bit wider. So I'm going to put it at the 6 1/4 right there. Make sure it's straight all the way at the top. Save that for another project. Flip it to the left one time. Then go and measure it at 4 1/4, which is right there on that line. Make sure it's straight all the way down, straight at the top. And now this mat should be perfect for matting my photo, my pretend photo. Let's just look at it and make sure it is. And then I would put some tape runner on every corner. Now, I've gotten to where I use repositionable tape runner on everything because I like the pliability of it to be able to move things around while I'm crafting and making pages. But over time, it settles down and it sticks really well. And so that's how I would mat my photos. So I would do this one the same way. And this is the same technique, but my photo was cut to 4 by 5 1/4. So my mat needs to be 1/4 inch bigger. So it'd be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 on that mat. And that's how I came up with that page. And I did take my brown fine tip pen from Creative Memories. Let me grab that. Right here. Sorry, I didn't have that handy. And this pen has 2 sides. That's the round tip pen. And this is the fine tip. And I just made some little tiny dots, like 3 little dots together right here, just to give it a little bit of an extra look that I like. So that's how to make that page. Now I'm going to show you another page. Y'all can look at that while I dig up this other stuff because it's very similar. I also use the acorns on here. And I'm not going to actually make this page. I'm just going to walk you through what I did and do a couple of things. So by making that other page, you saw how to use the trimmer to cut your pieces of paper. So I'm going to just grab my ruler and just tell you, I cut that brown paper to, is it 1 1/4 inch? It's 1 inch. it's about 1.25 inches. And then I with the trimmer, and then I cut my orange paper like I did before and mounted it on the side so where a little bit of that sticks out. And this is another laser cut border. I'll show you. And actually, while I'm doing this, I'm going to show you how I have some of this stuff organized. This is our new binder. I love it. And you can get all these different kinds of pages for organizing. I didn't mean to pull that out. So these are great for organizing these kind of laser cut borders. The one I used was this one. So I'm going to pull it out. And you can put some on the other side. You can bunch more of these together. I just wanted to get everything out where I could see it, because for this, I'm doing a virtual crop right now. That's why I'm doing all these videos. I wanted to have all this at my fingertips where I could see it really well. Those need to push down a little bit more. Like if you've cut out some borders, you can put them here. These are great for, like, I cut out a bunch of these little mum flowers. They go in here, or you could put die cuts, embellishments in here. And then these little ones, I wanted to lay out all of my embellishments so I could see them really well. So I use these little 3x3 squares to do that, just because I'm using a lot of this. And then these with the 2 vertical pockets are great for stickers or borders or whatever. And then you can get a big open pocket. And let me just tell you about this. So I bought on Amazon some sticker sheets. Basically they're what goes behind sticker strips after you've used them, or that you can mount them on and then peel them back off. So I bought some of these for my excess stickers once I've used them. Sometimes I'll keep, like, once I've used up a sticker strip like this, when everything's gone, I'll save it and use it to put kind of my scraps of stickers on. But sometimes I'll use these sheets. And you can just go to Amazon, and I think you can look up sticker album sheets, and they come in a multi-pack. I put 2 together so that I could put a 12-inch border, and I put a little bit of tape on the back, like some repositionable tape. So anyway, there's that. And then you get these pockets for all these miscellaneous type things. And yeah, and then, like, you can put 12x12 things in here. I love this book. You can get different dividers for it. You can even get like a thing that goes in where the holes are to hold your pens and pencils and things like that, or some tools. It's just really great. And then it zips up like this. It has a handle, and I love it. It's great for taking to Crocs or organizing at home. Okay, so that just made my video a little longer, but that was an impromptu demo on that. Okay, so I'm just going to talk you through most of this. So I would cut that to 1.25 inches, that brown, and then I would cut the orange like 3/4 inch and mount them just like I did on that other page. And then this is just a piece of beige cardstock cut to 6 inches wide by 3 3/4 inches tall. And then I mounted it on a piece of brown, which I cut it 1/4 inch bigger. And then I just wanted to show you another use for my little acorns. I made these the same ways I did on the other page. And this right here is sticker letters. They came off of this right here, this sticker strip. And I'm still using the Grateful Harvest collection. Now I want to show you a tip. This is a product that we have had for a long time, or we had a long time ago, I should say. And it helps you center your sticker letters or center things, and also make wavy titles and things like that. So I'm going to show you how I use this. And you can't order this anymore, but if you happen to have one, you might want to pull it out and use it if you're not, because it's really handy. And if you don't have one, I'm going to show you another option that you could do. So I'm going to take these fall stickers. It just says fall. This is your center. So I'm going to put the FA here. This will be the center, LL there. So, and I'm going to start from the inside and work my way out. So I want it to look pretty much like this. So, And then I just want to put it so that the bottom is just barely on this. So it's like that, where you're just using this to line it up, even less than that. So L, L, and then I would work my way backwards with the A and the F. And you can see I kind of did these, what's the word, staggered with my letters. I kind of like to do that. I might play with these a little bit more. It just gives it a more fun look, I think. And then when you go to put it on your paper, so this is a 4x6 piece of cardstock. I'll just show you on this white. So that much of it is not on the template. And I would just center this up like this. And then stick this down. Don't press on this part. And very gently just pull this out from underneath. And that's how you can center your sticker letters and keep them straight. And I'm still messing with it. Okay, so that's how I did that. And then I just sort of staggered my little acorns. And I'll show you how I did these two little skinny strips of orange and green. But before I move on, I just want to tell you, if you don't have this, you could just use the backing from your stickers and do it on here. You don't have all the measurements, but you could just make it like you like it. And then you can move it around to center it. So hang on to these. They're very handy. And then you can just stick it back and organize it with your stuff. Okay, so one more thing I want to show you is how to do these. And basically, I just took my orange paper and my green paper that comes with that collection. Grab my trimmer. There's a lot of mess going on here. And I want the decal blade. So I'm going to lift that up, take the straight blade out, put the decal blade in. And I need a very skinny strip. Now the first one, I just want to get one side with decal right now. So I'm going to line it up with the outside edge of that gray mat and cut that. Now I want a really skinny strip, so I'm going to line that up again. I think this is what I did. I think I lined it up with the outside of that gray mat. If it's too wide, I did something else and I'll show you. No, that's perfect. So I did that. Now one side of this is already decal, so I'm going to line that up with the right-hand side of that gray mat. Make sure it's straight. This is a great way to use up some of your scraps. So that's how I got those. And then I just mounted those with repositionable tape runner here and then cut it to fit. And easy breezy page. So, and this shows the measurements for the photos, 5x4. These are all 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. And I didn't mat these. You could always mat them, but I felt like it had enough color the way it is. So let's just look at both of these pages one more time. Okay, get all that out of the way. So this is the first page. I think this one's my favorite just because I love the vivid colors in it, but this is fun too. So that's 2 different pages using acorns made from lemons. Thank y'all for watching my video, and I hope you have a fun time scrapbooking whenever you get time to. Bye.